Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm Thinker, right out here in the lab. I do what I do for you. I got something nice for you today. Let's go. Rightism, 25 who live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tuning and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right Thinker's mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is to get all right thinkers to know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where I'm going with this? Let's get there together. Let's go. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. So a person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. No, a person who knows and knows not that they know, excuse me, is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to my be true. We're in the 10th lesson, the principle of Asar. This title right thinker, let's talk about becoming Assar. Okay? How? With daily practice of right thinking or Maat philosophy. Let's go. First lesson we went through, I introduced you to him. Now we're going to learn a little few things about him that you need to understand because this is the last level on the tree of life for physical or human consciousness. Let's go. As you know, we have been what? Moving up the technu or the obelisk and the following of the schematics of what Neteru, which represents a visual and a metaphysical informational diagram. The tree of life showing how we at Asar now. It's the informational diagram of creation that has been placed for you where in the tree of life under the cosmic anomythograph concept, which we link to, which is likened, excuse me, which is likened to the mandala. The mandala like a puzzle, a whole bunch of collides going on. You sit and you meditate on that. They give you something to focus on while you go into meditative state. Okay. And it is at once a philosophy, excuse me, a philosophical, mystical, and more important, meditational iconograph to be what? Contemplated just like any section of the ancient Egyptian temple walls for what? Our study of the philosophy. The ancients made knowledge available to all their society. If I open a school, it would be open 7 days a week. Why? Come in at your leisure. Come in when you want. They did that on their own accord. So they didn't have a bunch of secret societies that's going to take hidden knowledge, the truth, and divvy it out to people who want to come and be part of their little group. Moving on, I want to get personal. But yeah, I'm part of a group, so I know that for a fact. Now, what's this? You had meditational iconograph to be what contemplated, just like, okay, that's give me. And it was there for the study of the philosophy for all to learn. We have transversed through the principles. I started you out with Haru as the child. I took you through Neftet, brought you through Set, and you just got finished with Aset. And now we have reached the top of the ladder, Asar, so to speak. Okay, with Asar, we conclude our study of what the human principles of the tree of life. we recall that there was what 10 principles in all. The lower five are the human principles. That's what we're going through now. And the upper five are the cosmic principles. However, there you go. As we said before, the human personality contains all of the principles, all 10 of them. But the lower five relates more closely to what the element that goes to what comprise the human psyche, meaning the mental aspect of you, your personality. This is all about getting you to become what master of you, aka know thyself completely, not just your name, your sex. And, oh, that's even becoming an issue now. Got kids don't even know their sex. Moving on. Sorry about that. Get back. Now, we discussed the pathways in which they need to what, discover and be mastered by every individual who takes this concept. By developing a certain sensitivity, you will have become Haru. Knowing thyself, you reach the highest level of knowledge within oneself. We have asked what our mother, who is Asar, to what lead us to what self mastery. My mother had been giving me life lessons all my life. Some of them I didn't like, but I'm finding out she know what she's talking about. The older I get, the more I start to understand. So, children, listen to your parents. They're called elders for a reason. For a reason, we wasn't born parents. Moving on. And when you want Aset, which is intuitive wisdom, she's your mother, lead you to self-mastery over what? Over the principles, again, the principles of death, which represented by who? Nefet, mortality, and the sensitivity, excuse me, the sensuality of the world, meaning worldly things, as well as what? Here we go, the egoism of Set. If you don't take care of your ego, you're going to have problems all the time. And what? Because it's the selfishness, the greed of Set, as we saw in the principle of our Set, the attainment of self knowledge, not belief, occurs through, you ready? You obtain self knowledge through experience. That's how you become Haru. Why? Because there's a battle of Haru, which is your ego, your lower self, and your higher self, which is Haru. Haru should win out all the time. Bad should never win. Ego should never win that fight, the moral fight within you. So that means you should be compelled to what? Do the right thing. That's why I am now. I'm not doing something that's wrong. Knowingly, why? I'm doing better. Simple as that. I'm not going to subject myself to do why? Every action is going to have a reaction. If you do a bad and negative action, you're going to get a bad and negative response from said action. That's the I read. So I'm careful of where I put my actions. Why? I want them to be true and good. Why? So I can be rewarded for them. Sneaking, deceitful, I may gain some money, some few dollars, whatever, but that's not going to bless me from up above. Why? Because your higher self know the lower self is in control and it can't be blessed. And watch this. That leads us to attain the experience of Asar, which we have been discussing for the last few lectures, working our way to him. We're there. Deal with the concepts and understand. I'm about to give you a few lessons that'll help you do just that. Now we have also discussed the peculiarities of what? The principles, each one. The teaching that each principle represents at some degree, but not completely. We discussed some of the objects that the principles represent. We went through them. We talked about the concept, again, the concept of what? Worshiping the principles. That don't mean worshiping that. It means to follow them. Okay, use them, implement them. That's how you show the worship to the principles and concepts of right thinking philosophy. The Neteru, the higher and lower worship, the concept, again, of the realm of generation, meaning the physical realm, and the realm of absolute consciousness. That's becoming awake and become conscious, and how each one is to be approached, each with its own kind. When you're worshiping transcendent God, you worship him in this. You work in the physical, you get your stuff that they represent. Been there, done that. So move it on. Sorry. The nether of the physical realm are to be, again, approached with physical objects, such as your little memorial, your little stands. I got one. Objects. And the nether of the transcendental realm is to be approached with nothing. Nothing. That's how you go to your higher self, aka meditation. While you're communing with your higher self, we go into prayer. That means you're doing the talking. I don't do talking during prayer. I do thinking and I listen and I speak the same way I listen. It's internal. That's how Assar got the magic word from Ra, because she got the experience where there's no words. It's telekinesis. It just comes. Moving on. We so far from that as humans. We can only think about it, imagine it. Why? Because we don't use it. And the rule is, if you don't use it, you lose it. Everything that we've not done with this thing up here, we lose it. The ability to use it. Pineal gland. Everybody started to become conscious. Yeah, but I've been doing this for a while, so come on, welcome. I'm glad to see it. Now, where we at? In the nether, excuse me, let us talk about what you go to the transcendental high God with nothing but your thoughts. Now let us look into what? The mysteries of Asar by now beginning to look at what his hieroglyphs and most important, his iconograph, what he represents. So this is going to be fun. Let's go. This is Asar, right? And usually when you see him, he's always mummified, because his life before he was mummified, he was a good man doing his thing. Okay, but his history is now in the afterlife. He's where you want to go if you live a good life. That's the concept. He got there because what? He was the first one to be judged in the halls of Maya, and he passed. So he sits, and everybody's coming behind him. Concept, just let you know. So let's talk about it right quick. Assar is usually presented as a man wrapped in mummy. Okay, his skin color is either green or black. It's a rule for that, the reason, purpose for that. Dependent again on what? The iconographical teachings that's being taught at that particular time. He often wears the crown of Lower Egypt, and he holds the crook and flail. I told you about them earlier, and they have the significance. I'm gonna break down for you right quick as we go through this. But Assar has two principal objects that he keep all the time: the Heka and the Nekaku. Heka is the crook, we know it, and is used to what? Herd animals. So he is known as, you ready for this? Assar is the what? Good shepherd. Heard that before, haven't you? So Assar is what? The beautiful. Assar, Sa spelled S-A-A, means total understanding, being competent and understanding what's being presented to you. So Assar, the shepherd, this is why the what? The concept was adopted for use where? You ready? Christianity. What did that? Oh, we ain't gonna talk about that. Let's get to the lesson. Now, the good shepherd. Is that what Christ was? The one who leads what? His flock. Every pastor, every leader of a congregational group, this is what they're supposed to adhere to, or they should. Let's go. Why? Watch this. It also means royalty. That's what he wear the purple. Meaning he is able to what? Lead others. Bam! If your pastor or whoever you following from religious concept, if he's not doing his job, you should not be following him. And nothing worse than a bad leader with a bunch of followers. Y'all don't recognize he a bad leader? Really? Moving on. He is the wise ruler. Solomon, when he had a choice, asked God what he wanted. He wanted what? Wisdom, to be a wise ruler. Mimicking, again, y'all took the philosophy. I know that. Y'all don't, because y'all don't know the original. So I do. So let me explain to you. He is the heir. We, as the offspring, we are the rightful heirs of that throne. Where? In the afterlife. Y'all concept is heaven. Same concept. Y'all just word a little different, but same thing. Moving on. And you are the heir to the throne. What? As you are. You are what? The rightful heirs of the throne, Once you obtain what? Spiritual enlightenment, aka nihas. They as a people live for that. They didn't have to go to a church every week to get that knowledge. It was there every day of the week, 24/7. You could sleep in the temples. So being enlightened was a way of life. Gaining and being the righteous person and doing the right thing by every individual was a way of life. Oh, that, well, he ain't doing this. Well, she doing that. Why he getting blessed? Well, they didn't have a problem as a society. Why? Because everybody took personal account of what they should be doing for what? Themselves. We can do the same thing. But this is why, again, you, the initiate into this tradition, are also referred to Asar. I told you when you pass the judgment, you become Asar Mark. That's your title. Why? Because you passed the test of what? Righteousness in the physical world. So you entitles you to what? The afterlife to be granted to you with Asar, along with him. That's the concept. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Break it down. Let me get this out of the way. Now, the other object, okay, that he has is the Netkaku, which is the flare. Again, the flare is an object that is used. I had to get this word for thrashing and chafing. What the hell is chafing? The oats and the wheats, when it's thrashed, they separate them from one to the other. There's three different kinds. You separate the staff from the chaff, excuse me, from the seed. What the hell is that? Which means you're separating truth from untruth. He's going to give birth to Anubis to substantiate that, but he had that also. Remember, you give your offspring what you have. Your looks, your DNA, all that good stuff. Yeah, they had the opportunity to what? Change it. Some of us stick with what we was born with. My son said, Dad, I like the stuff you're doing now, but I'm working, old stuff is working for me. So knowledge is knowledge. Truth is truth. And where you get it or however you use it, if it's to your benefit, you will continue to do that. Moving on. And that's what church and religion is supposed to do. They change it into a business. Moving on. Now, you got to be able to know the truth from the untruth. Discernment, that's his son. But he said reality from what? The illusion. This world we live in is the illusion. The world that you go to when you go to sleep, that's the real world. And the Aborigines said that. Native Americans say that. We the only one don't understand the power of sleep. Dude, when you go to sleep, you're practicing death. Simple as that. Why you're shutting the body down. You don't need the body on the next level in the astral plane. That's why. Come on, man. It's getting annoying sometimes. But this object itself has three sections. The three sections symbolize, again, here we go to symbology. The symbolization of the three worlds are what? The tie, the physical, the pet, the heavenly, and the duat is where you end up where there's urantive, where nothing's doing. That's where the spirits go to be in forever. Or they choose, somebody tell me, you start to sign a contract. If when I get out of here, when I get this month, man, I ain't going back down there. What do you think, Christ? I ain't going back down there, them crazy people. No, so conceptually, I'm just saying. So I'm taking my shot. I'm going and chill. Moving on, your choice. Again, the fact that you have a choice is a good thing. That's what Maat represents, choices. And you go to the Duat and you become what? A pharaoh means mastery over oneself. And he's the one who should be leading others. Why? Because he had mastery over himself first. Sorry about that. I'm teaching my philosophy. Why? Because I mastered it first. Hence, master teacher. Let's go. So with this philosophy, again, a philosophy that you can manifest and use of the three worlds, you are able to what? Master duality, which is the physical world. I know right from wrong, good from bad. Simple as that. We all should. But you can now manifest as the what? The three worlds, and you thereby discover what? Non-duality. Absolute truth, aka spiritual enlightenment. Y'all call it Christ concept or anointed, it's the same thing. But you have to obtain it. That's the caveat with most of anything, okay? You got the truth and the untruth in the mind up here of an ordinary human being are blended. Any person on the street or your family member, a friend, etc., has somewhat some good qualities and some bad qualities. Whatever a person do, right now we got this trans thing going. If you have a relative that falls victim to the trans concept, that's their right to pick and choose. They put it there so there's an option. You should not change how you feel about them. I got family members I don't speak to. That don't mean I don't love them. Simple as that. You ain't got to like what they do, but you have to love them. Why? They family. That's natural. And sometimes, what's this? Well, yeah, good qualities. And most of the time, what happened? You lean on the good ones, and you try to what? Overlook the other ones. That's another one of our problem. If I see you doing something wrong, I'm gonna pull your coattail. Yo, my man, what's going on? All right? We don't do that no more. Friends look out for each other. Moving on. Sometimes people do somewhat bad things. Well, I didn't know that. They what every individual do. It ain't up to you to wonder or figure out why and how they did it. That ain't your department of concern. They did it. They're responsible. So when people do bad things, even to you, they may insult you or they do something you do not like. A lot of people do that, but sometimes that hurts you. Yeah, emotion. Again, when you set yourself up for that, that's what happens. And when you put your faith in people, they're going to disappoint you. And also, some of the times, what they do, what you may consider to be a nice thing. Only thing you can do for me that's nice is respect me. I don't want nothing else. I appreciate that. I'm good with that. Okay. But nice things are to for you. So they may even what? Buy you gifts. I ain't for sale. Or they do what? Good to you and be nice to you. But most people have what? An underlying agenda, a hidden reason why they're doing certain things. Why? They want something from you. That's the devil. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I got some good stuff coming for you coming up. I'm looking at the clock. I got to go, but I'll be back. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you have passed away. I'll be back.